critical of human perspective.
Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you so much for joining us. I have Eileen Colts with us from One Channel.
Hi, guys. Hi, Shane.
Hey, I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, it does have the S, right? I didn't want to get it backwards.
Yeah, it's got the S. No Mandela effect there. The time is now 8:08 by me. So we seem to have this habit of starting in my time zone, the power of 8 at 8:08.
Right. I like that. And I like the 808 drum machine that was so popular during the 80s. With the
I've never even heard of it. See,
yeah,
I wasn't a drummer, so yeah. I don't know it.
Yeah, it's rapped and sang and about a lot, so it's pretty cool. All right, so let me
hi everybody in the chat that I can't see. I always go back and see you later.
Yep, the chat's looking good. Let me see if this other screen's gonna line up, because yeah, that's pretty decent. Yeah,
good. Maybe we have a clear connection tonight and not a lot of electromagnetic storms around the earth.
Or angels playing singing bowls, but that was pretty welcome. Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah. I actually pulled up something on that. We were talking about my friend Kathy, who plays crystal bowls last week, right? And she is a master at crystal bowls. She does this professionally in a salt cave, and she plays 18 at once. I've never met anybody who could play that many.
Wow.
And when you switched off your mic and I just did the meditation, I go into a meditative state. So I'm meditating with you guys. And I just heard underneath my words this tone. So I sent it to Shane. Shane listened to the tone and he isolated it.
By the way, yeah.
What's that?
I did notice it live, by the way, too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So it wasn't like it was added after the fact. I was listening and I was like, I wonder what that dinging sound is. But
I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear the tone with my one little dinky headphone here, this little $9.99 over at Best Buy. And in my room, there was no tone. So the tone was generated somehow between our computers, between me talking and you recording.
I was wondering if it was something in my house. So I was like, is my mic off? And I was wondering, that's the only reason. It wasn't like it was distracting, but it made me wonder, oh, did I turn my mic off? And maybe it's the TV in the other room, but all my stuff was off. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's just coming through in the background. But when you stopped speaking at the end of the meditation, the tone stopped. And then when you started speaking again, but you weren't meditating, but when you weren't meditating, it didn't come back anymore. It was like,
I know.
That was.
I know. It's the most bizarre thing that I've ever seen, besides those red, white, and blue lines that we got when we did the veterans meditation.
Yes, exactly.
That was really bizarre. But every time I spoke, the tone would ring, and then if I stopped speaking, it would like disappear. So you'd really want to listen in between the words, and you couldn't. Then I'd start, as I was meditating, the tone would come back. And as soon as I came out of it, and we all came out of it, right? Because we're all doing it at the same time. So actually, I've never generated a crystal bowl tone before on my own. So I think it was generated by the 104 people who were meditating at the same time. Because as soon as we stopped meditating, the tone disappeared. It was gone.
Yeah, that's strange.
But Shane isolated it. It was 504 hertz, which is a cool number because that's the number 9, which is a very mystical number, the omega, the beginning and the end. And I sent the tone and I sent the meditation to Kathy, who does the crystal bowl meditations. And the tone corresponds exactly to her bowl, which she calls her Arcturian bowl. And it's infused. Yeah, it's infused with citrine. I don't know if you can see, I got citrine tonight. It's like really yellow gold. And then it's also infused with rose quartz. But this one's like really white, so you can't really see the pink in it.
Right.
Let's see. Can you see a little pink, maybe?
Looks pretty silver to me, but I've got a darker pink one there. Well, that's
Oh, good. Is that rose quartz as well? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
yeah.
can see the pink in yours.
Yeah.
Okay. So the bowl with the 504 hertz has rose quartz. It's a crystal bowl made of crystal, and it has rose quartz and citrine in it. Oh, and it corresponds to the Anja, the third eye chakra, and it opens up the pineal gland. How do you say that? Pineal or pineal? Pineal.
I say pineal because they named it after the pine cone, so I typically think of it as pineal, but I don't know.
Okay, so that the tone 504 hertz opens up the pineal gland. So it's really interesting that as we were in a deep group live meditation, breathing and meditating together, that tone came from somewhere.
So I
That was
wonder
so
what we're
cool.
going to have tonight because we've had 2 times in a row now. We've had some sort of cool, unexplainable phenomenon happen. That's like, I don't know. It's just pretty cool. And the
Well,
funny thing is about the group thing, just to buid on that, I was just talking to Michelle Wolf earlier, and she was
uh,
saying that she was trying to see if she could make herself glow on the camera or whatever, because just to figure out why she was glowing when she was on the air the other day, and she couldn't do it when it wasn't the group of us like loving each other and being in one accord. But when she
wow.
went live, like last night, I think it was, she started glowing again. And then that's when it dawned on her, it's only when I'm connecting with these other people. So are we like
Wow.
sort of energizing each other or activating each other perhaps with
I
all of our
think
energies being combined?
so.
I mean, even if we're
I
not
think so.
meditating, we could be, just being together. It's like, I don't know. There was a
Oh,
show like
yeah.
that where everyone's power came online once they got together. I can't remember the show, but I watched a few episodes of it, and they all had a gift, but they had to be together to use them. It was like the group had to be together for them all to come online. So
So
just things to think about.
yeah, it looks like just being together in one place activates us. Because right now we're live, we're all together, listening, hearing, and every show you do is like that now. You rarely produce a video anymore, right? You do
All
everything
right.
live because then you're like connecting with all the people who are listening.
I have been working on some Mandela effect videos, just like
Cool.
top 10 to sort of try to bring more people into the fold, that are just waking up to it or looking into it and stuff. But those, I haven't put them out yet, but I am going to do those in between the live shows as well, because I just don't want it to die off. I think it's such a great wake up call for people,
Yeah.
and the videos are kind of falling behind, other people not putting it out. So
And we're working on a book with Spirit Walker and with Vanessa Vaugh. So we'll have a few chapters from 4 YouTubers on the Mandela effect. That's mostly for people who don't really use YouTube. So
right.
it could be an elderly person who just doesn't use YouTube or social media. So maybe a book on the topic would be nice if they've noticed it and they don't know what it is. So for our group, it'll just be redundant to our videos. But
Yeah.
I got 2 of the chapters finished last night, and my God, they're long. I've got to cut them way back. Those videos, we use a lot of words in a
Yeah.
video. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I had to trim mine down too because of um, just a lot of it's referring to stuff on the screen. So I'm having to switch it into describing and stuff. But it's fine. I think, it's going to be a great tool for people who they want to sit down and talk to people about it. But there's so much to cover.
Mm.
And if somebody's not on YouTube and you can't just say, hey, go watch these videos or go watch this or that, here's a link, then at least you can leave something with them and say, hey, if you want to know more about this, check out this book, because it
Yeah.
goes into it. And we're going to have some graphics in it and stuff, examples and stuff. So,
Yep.
yeah,
It'll
I
be
think it'll be
available
good.
on Amazon and iBooks, and it'll also be digital on Kindle and Nook.
All right.
So there'll be like a $10 or $12 version, which is what Amazon does when they print it out, and then I think the I version is like half that price. It's like $5 or $6.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more affordable if you get it on your device, but you can always have Amazon print it out and ship it. It's what they do. They print on demand now. It's awesome. If you wanted self-publish like we're going to do,
Mm-hmm.
they get more money for it because as one's requested, they print it and send it out. So you don't make as much, but then
You don't
otherwise you
have
have
a
to order
garage
like
full of
10,000
books.
copies. Yeah.
A lot of times
Yeah.
people end up with a garage full of books because they never got rid of them. But we can, order so many that we can have at our shows, or, when we have the get together, that maybe have a merch table for people that want to pick some up.
Yep. And hey, Wayne Dyer started that way. Nobody would publish his first book, The Erogenous Zones, if I'm saying that correctly, erogenous zones. And he drove around the country with a station wagon full of books, and he just sold them at independent bookstores when they used to exist back then.
Yeah. Yeah. My how things have changed, you know.
Yeah,
Don't mind
there's
that.
very rarely an independent bookstore available to go to now.
Yeah. Sort of the problem with the big chain stores, you know, kind of running off all the small businesses.
Yep, definitely. I mean, I've read that Amazon hasn't even made a profit yet, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's been in business 30 years. What's supporting it? And apparently, it's investor supported. I don't know. It's just I feel like its whole purpose is to consolidate buying into one place. So eventually, Amazon will sell absolutely everything, and you don't have to go out of the house. You won't go
That's
out of the
beautiful.
house.
Yeah, they're going to have local hubs everywhere. Like, so any big city, I have a hub there, and all of because, you know, most people are buying the same thing, so they can
Yeah.
store those things there, and you can actually get it like, you know, you're ordering a pizza, get it like that same day delivered to your house. That would be pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Centralized shopping.
Yeah.
One shop, one store, centralized banking, one bank.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like Brave New World or 1984 or something we're supposed to not like.
Right. Yeah,
Lack of
definitely.
competition.
So are you going to
Oh,
get this bowl or what's?
I'm wondering if a crystal bowl is going to show up tonight, because her bowls cost thousands of dollars because they have the real rubies in them. They have emeralds, they have crystals, they have diamonds. So her bowls are like really expensive. So I'm not going to get a bowl. But I'm wondering, since we're talking about bowls again, if a tone is going to show up tonight. We'll see. Because last week was the first time you and I discussed Kathy's bowls, and then one showed up, which was kind of
Right.
cool. And then you keep mentioning this gemstone beach in 5D Earth.
Oh
And I
yeah.
can always picture it. And then you sent me a picture of one that already exists in California.
Yeah, someone had sent that to me. It was called Glass Beach, I think.
Fort Bragg? Is it by Fort Bragg, if I remember correctly? I've never seen
Yeah,
anything like it.
but
Were
it
you
was sort of
surprised?
what it was actually more colorful than I imagined. I imagined a regular beach with just sparkles of different colors everywhere, but this looked like, you know, solid
And
colors.
they said it's colored glass, it's not gemstones, but
Right.
there were reds and greens and blues. And I mean, it was like a rainbow beach. And I swear to God, I've never seen or heard of anything like that. Certainly not in the United States. I mean, I've been to California so many times as a kid, San Francisco, LA, San Diego. You would think that the what do they call it, like the Rainbow Beach would be on our stopping list as a kid to go play on the beach full of colors, right?
It's definitely new to me. And maybe, you know, let me show it and we'll see if anybody in
Has seen
the
this.
area has seen it, because I think it really, let me see if this pulls it up here. Let me click
Wow.
on it. Yeah, so
Oh
Fort
my
Bragg
gosh.
Glass Beach. Did we
It's
just
sea
manifest this?
glass.
No, but
It's
yeah, it
sea
does.
glass. It's like soft and there's no sharp edges because it's been in the sea so long. And where's all that glass coming from?
I don't know. It's beautiful though. So this
It
is
is
Fort Bragg,
beautiful.
California. I know we have people in California, and just chime into the chat or in the comments below. And is this
Has
new to
anybody
you?
been to the sea glass beach? I want to go. I want to get some of that too. It'd be beautiful in a bowl.
Oh yeah. Let me,
You know, I've spent a lot of time around seas and water, and it's so rare to see sea glass that when you do see it, you know, you pick it up and it's a little treasure because you found one piece.
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, there was a guy at the flea market that sold little pieces of this, but
Yep.
um, they
Somebody made jewelry in our market out of sea glass. It was beautiful, earrings and stuff like that.
But yeah, it's new to me. That's all I can say. But you know, I haven't been to California, so you know, maybe this is something. I mean, look at that one. It's just
Stunning. So
computers
I have a
being loud.
friend in LA, so I'll ask her if she's close to Fort Bragg to go check out the sea glass beach. She'd love something like that. And then, of course, there are peridot beaches. I didn't know that. My dad lived in Hawaii for 15 years, but he lived in Honolulu. So when I went to visit him, that's the only place I would see in Hawaii. There are places near volcanoes with peridot beaches, and that's a semi-precious green stone. And like 4 weeks ago, the main volcano on the Big Island was spitting out peridot. It was spitting out gems.
Oh, wow.
And that reminded me of your Gemstone beach.
This says it was created by a pile of garbage glass for years.
Wow. From where? From on the beach or from in the water? Must have been in the water because it's all smooth.
Yeah, it's not like bottles that are broken or anything. They look really
No.
smooth, like what you're saying. So I don't know. It's new to me, and is that's kind of a cool thought to think that our trash could be transformed into something so beautiful.
And it's also showing how 5D Earth is here all around us, and bits of it keep coming through. The more we call on it, like you've been talking about this beach for at least 6 months, maybe a year. You've mentioned that you'd be on a gemstone beach in 5D, and now it's here,
And it's beautiful, more beautiful than I imagined. So.
And when I was in what's that called? Key West over Christmas, went to visit some friends who popped over. We went out on a boat, and the guy on the boat, I don't know if this is true or not, said that all sand is ground up stone and coral from the poop of parrotfish. You know those big parrotfish with that beautiful little crunchy mouth that they have, like a little parrot? Yeah. And he said 100% of the sand in the world comes from parrotfish. And if we didn't have parrotfish swimming around corals and grinding up rocks and coral, we wouldn't have any sand.
Well, isn't the sand where we get glass and even the silicon chips and computers and stuff? All that's from sand, right?
From sand. But you wouldn't have it without parrotfish pooping it out all day long. I don't know if this is true. He was saying it as if he was being an expert,
Right. That is a funny thought, though.
Somebody look it up, please look it up.
So
I'm not embarrassed. If I get anything wrong, trust me, my family knows this. If I get anything wrong, I will hold up my hand and go, sorry, I got it wrong. Like last week's over-enthusiastic email that said we already had an amendment 28. It's just a petition. It is a petition. People have gotten together and formulated a petition for that amendment, but it isn't ready to be ratified yet. That was a bit of over-enthusiasm.
But it's still close, right? It's still close to having enough people sign it, and no.
Yeah, that would be miraculous. That would be amazing. That would be more 5D Earth coming through.
Well, I went and signed it, and I recommend anyone.
I signed it.
Yeah. If you wanted to sign it, go to last week's video, and I think I pinned the comment, didn't I?
I think you did. Yeah, you pinned the comment that has the link to where you go to sign the petition to create that kind of a government, a truly constitutional government where everybody who lives in the land has to abide by the laws of the land, which is kind of cool.
Play by the same rules.
Play by the same rules. It's very protective for the people. It's more 5D. Definitely more 5D coming through.
Yeah. So I had a Jim's cell phone, and it probably wasn't a very popular view about having to wait a long time or this being a process. And I even had people like 60 years, what the heck, But I believe that we're already seeing it manifest before us. So I didn't want to say that, the Rainbow Mountains, all of this. I think he was talking about the full transition would be through in
the golden age.
But I don't know,
He's talking about the golden age where we live in a complete 5D type, because 5D is a concept. We might be in 8D, we might be in 100th dimension. You never know. It's just called a 5D world to kind of give us this perfect place of cooperation, love, peace, the golden age, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what we used to call it, the golden age?
Yeah, above duality and all of that, yeah.
So, you and I were talking after the show last week, and I said the people that I studied put it at 100 to 200 years from now. And you were like, holy moly. And then Jim Self shortened it to 100 years. So we'll go with his timeline, right? We'll get rid of mine.
Yeah, I so much I see dates come and go, and I see people feel crushed by it. And I just think it's not helpful. I'm hopeful. Don't get me wrong. If somebody says, hey, it's at the end of this month, and it is.
Well, you've changed your your game plan. Since I met you, I've seen you develop this.
Yeah.
And that is that 5D is not something you run to or escape to. It's something you build. It's something you create. You co-create it with other people who are the same as you and want the same kind of earth. And you build this together, you know, and it's through your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your work.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've kind of changed your approach to, instead of running away to 5D to be safe from the 3D duality, which is crushing,
Yeah.
you're going to build it. You're going to bring it in. You're going to, you know, help everybody experience it. It's a different approach.
And I've completely taken control of my emotions and my feelings and my actions. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. Instead of waiting for something to happen and change, I just changed myself. I completely took control of, you know, I don't let myself get down. And of course, you know, we have ups and downs, but once I see myself start getting in that, you know, that impatient state where you're just feeling down and depressed, I do those things that I know will pick me up, whether it's just putting on some upbeat music and dancing around, or just doing things that make me feel happy, and just knowing that if someone upsets me, it's only because I allowed them to upset me, to really be the sovereign being that we are. And that's really helped me out tremendously. And I in a way, I feel like we've been stuck in this waiting room, right, at the doctor's office, and there's these screaming kids and stuff, and you're just like, oh God, let's just get this appointment over with and get me the heck out of here. But really the key to getting out of there is really to learn,
Relaxing.
yeah, to learn to rise above that situation. And then once you're okay with it, then you get to leave. So it's almost like that's what I
That
feel like.
is so true. Yes, you know, what you're describing is self-actualization, which is the Buddhist way and the Christ way and the I am way. So somehow by doing all of this, you've come to the point where you've realized that the only way to change the world is through you. You change you and the world will follow, right? Your reality
Yeah.
will reflect back to you what's coming from inside you. So now you're not rushing somewhere. You're not, you know, praying, you know, please, 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 you know, take us in September, take us in August. We got to get off this planet. You're like, no, actually, I'm going to look at the beauty here. I'm going to experience the joy here. And what did you call them last week? You said there's a difference between your deep, deep feelings of contentment and little irritations, emotions. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
oh, that really bugged me. Somebody cut me off in traffic. That's not a deep feeling. That's
Yeah.
just a tiny little emotional irritation, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And we still have them, but it's like catching it. It's being the sort of the guard at the door. It's like, oh wow, I can't believe I let that get under my skin, and you catch it right away, rather than being angry. Because a lot of times it'll ruin our day if we're not careful. You'll
Yeah.
get
And
cut
you go,
off
why
on the
did
way
I
to
get
work.
so mad at that? How did
Right.
that tip me off and make me like, you know, my head blew up and exploded because I got so mad? You know, little tiny things. I
Yeah,
think they're touching on deeper things though that are being like suppressed. So it's better to get to the point where you are, where you can tolerate the negative, because you're enjoying the positive so much.
totally. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Well, speaking about that, did you get a chance to see the video that I sent you? Because it was all about that, but it was an old video from like 10 years ago that you said you saw last year, where it tries to explain how heart harmonics, he worked with the Heart Math Institute,
Yeah,
Dan Winter, and he said it's all about heart harmonics and how they heal the body,
and change
how
your
they heal,
DNA.
they change your DNA. That's
Yeah,
how we get spontaneous healings.
definitely. And that also let me know that when we're sort of resonating with impatience, not only like when I was talking to Jim, it's like you're not being the light and the beacon you're supposed to be if you're sort of like, come on already, get me the heck out of here. It's not, nobody's going to look at you when you're like that and be like, what do they have that I don't have? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
yeah,
it's sort of getting
yeah.
to that point where you take complete control over yourself and really be the master of your own life. And then at that point, you become that beacon, you become that light that people wonder, what do they have that I don't have? And then when you're at that point, you're actually scientifically, like what Dan Winter was saying, you create this magnetic force resonance within yourself that starts transforming your DNA. And this is what they found out through their studies. Now, I actually started looking at some of his newer videos, and he got into the Ark of the Covenant being this, what do you call it, a capacitor. And I can't wait to get back to that because it's tying, we were just talking about it. Yeah, so I just caught a little bit of it. I had to get ready for the show. So, but he gets into
the Ark
all
of the
sorts
Covenant
of
is
stuff.
not this big, massive nuclear weapon. It's something else.
I you know, I don't know. I haven't gotten far enough to.
This whole thing that he was showing about how the heart pumps out electromagnetic energy. So when you're not meditating and praying and loving, you've got about a 4-foot aura of electromagnetism from your heart. And when you are praying and you are loving, you've got a 40-foot aura of magnetism from your heart. Imagine how that affects everybody that you come in contact with.
Exactly. And then we begin to connect with one another. And you can really see this whole idea of an energy grid, you know, actually.
The energy internet.
Yeah, exactly. The way
Lynne
we've been connecting here. Yeah. So it's wonderful. Yeah.
That is amazing. I'm going to watch that video again. It was all about quantum science, about how genes work, how electromagnetism through emotions, true emotions or true feelings. Which ones are surface and which ones are deep? Is it our emotions are deep or is it our feelings? Do you know which ones are surface and which ones are deep?
The emotions are more the shallow ones, the left brain, you know, I'm angry or I'm jealous. That's the emotional response. But when you're feeling, it's more of your intuition. But we use the word feeling all the time. That's what Jim was saying. Jim Self was saying that I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling, and we use feeling in the wrong way because that's really this emotion that we're dealing with.
That's just a temporary state.
Right.
It's not a state of being. Well, those emotions that we really trigger when we do these group meditations and other things on our own, those are the ones that repair DNA. Those true, deep feelings of love, compassion, unity.
Yeah.
In fact, I have an email from Lynne, and I got to talk to her this week about you and your show, and she's awesome. Absolutely loving this. That she said you have like 100 light workers and healers doing this live, and I'm like, yeah. So she thought that was fantastic. She's like traveling to New York, so maybe when she gets back home, she can come on your show and talk about it. Well, she sent an email, and it briefly mentions, if I can pull it up here. There it is. Yay, it worked. Okay, there's studies available on affluence versus meaningful work. And that's what reminded me of the Real Spirit Dynamics video that we're just talking about now.
And I'm going to link that below just so people that are interested in looking at that. I'm putting it's the Real Spirit
Dynamics.
With
and
Dan
it's explaining
Winters.
With Dan Winters, and it's explaining how bliss heals your body. True bliss, being in a state of bliss, will heal your body. And that's all about this Power of 8 at 8 book. I'll hold it up because I don't have my little icon up, so I can't see if you can see it. Lynne McTaggart's book is all about how she accidentally discovered that if you meditate and pray to heal others, you get healed in the process of uniting with a group to help others. So, okay, studies on affluence versus meaningful work. So this is the Lynne McTaggart Power of 8 course for healers email from today. So she says a study carried out by psychologists at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill who wanted to examine the differences in health between people living what they reported to be a life of pleasure, what we normally define as the good life, compared to those living a life of purpose or meaning. Now, these people got to define what was a purposeful or meaningful life themselves. You would expect the people living the good life with more affluence, more money, which buys them more rest, relaxation, recreational time. You'd expect them to be healthier than those who describe themselves as working in areas that gave their life meaning. In other words, helping others. It could be in any way. It could be physical, emotional, spiritual, artistic. And what the researchers found surprised them. Those who described themselves as living the good or affluent life had higher inflammation markers in their bodies physically than those who described themselves as living a working life, but with meaningful work. And the inflammation markers, while people are healthy, often result in later diseases like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and cancer. So that's kind of a given. So their conclusion was that doing good is good for you as opposed to living the so-called good life. So that's kind of cool. That's a university study. And working in service to others or in service to all heals the mind, body, and spirit. There's other studies that came to the same conclusion that you'll find in her book, The Power of Eight by Lynne McTaggart. And she mentioned one other study today. Scientists from Boston College discovered this when trying to figure out why patients suffering from chronic pain and depression markedly improved in both disability and mood once they began helping others with the same condition. As they repeatedly noted to the researchers, it was all about making a connection and being provided with a sense of purpose. So she's concluding from their comments that our need to help others is perhaps the one element that gives our life the greatest meaning and results in spontaneous healings.
That's wonderful. And I can definitely see that helping with just the whole feeling sorry for yourself as you're going through stuff. If you're dealing with other people going through the same thing, you wouldn't feel so much like you were the only one going through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, this is the opposite of kind of our trendy self-help going, la, 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 only positive thoughts, only positive thoughts. Nope, I don't want to see that. Nope, I don't want to see that. It's just the opposite. It's saying when you see it and respond with compassion, you heal.
Right.
More so than when you just try to just not look at it because you're afraid it's going to lower your vibration. So our healing topics here that are being sent to us are not always positive. Sometimes they are, like abundance and 5D earth, like we did last week. But when healing others, it's bringing our light to others' darkness, which results in a healing for all, for the senders and the receivers.
Like the veterans one.
So, yeah.
Because, I mean, if you
Yeah.
think about it, so many people are, if they're not a veteran, their family member is, or they have some
Their
connection.
dad, yeah, or so yeah, so sometimes, I mean, we're not saying dwell on the negative, but don't be afraid to look at it. And when you do find it, give it your compassion, give it your love. Help others in any way, physical, mental, or spiritual. Because sometimes you see something on the news and you can't help them, but you could certainly send a prayer or a meditation, or you could somehow try to heal that. But it's also good to physically help people too, you know, when you can.
Mm-hmm.
So here's this week's suggestions for world healing meditation topics. Thank you, Jenny, for suggesting we do a meditation for people who feel either suicidal or they're feeling stuck. Like some people feel stuck in a dark place and they don't know how to get out of it. Thank you, Caroline, for suggesting we do a group meditation to heal terrorism globally so that these young people are not motivated to join groups. Terrorist groups. Thanks, Melissa, for contributing a meditation to heal our world leaders so they become heart-centered too. We can't control the sound quality on re-uploading meditations, so we're only taking topic suggestions, but we've done that one twice. Melissa gave us the one for 5D Earth last week, and we did world leaders twice. And Kathy, known as Ciz, C-I-Z-Z, who submitted her meditation from her blog. Her blog is called rzoracles.blogspot.com. And it was a beautiful written meditation that I really enjoyed it. It's called Just Imagine What If. And the whole thing is almost like a poem on us becoming one with nature. Becoming one with the animals and the trees and the grass, and just what if we became one with all of nature. And then we got a couple of suggested topics in the comments, including prayers and meditations for those who are incarcerated. And we got one, you sent me one, but I'm not sure it's for anyone who's sexually abused. Again, these are really dark topics, but if you send your love and compassion to them and you shine your light on it, the whole point is to uplift others so that they can heal themselves.
Definitely.
Everybody says we don't heal.
I dropped the ball on who suggested the sexual abuse topic, because I looked for it again. I didn't get in an email. I'm like, where did maybe it was a comment. Yeah. So I do apologize. Thanks for submitting the topic. I'm sorry I should have made a note of it. I've got too many lines of communications.
Yeah, so, we try to write down your name and say thank you. But we'll do our best, but then if we leave somebody out, we're really, really sorry. But there's just so many comments.
Did you see the comment? I remember the thumbnail. I remember it was like a guy and a girl on the thumbnail, and that's all I remember. I was going to go back and look at it, but I couldn't remember if it was in an email or where it came from. So yeah. But
you get a lot of emails and you get a lot of comments, a lot more than me. I have like 1,200 subscribers. You have over 11,000 now.
You know what? That's funny you said that, because I got featured. I got a shout out from Mr. MBB333 today for that Phoenix photo that Arthur submitted. I had sent it over to see if he could find out more information about it.
Cool.
And he found out the park had closed down, but then he went in and just showed those images and gave me a shout out. So I went and looked at my subscribers, and I had 11,111 subscribers when I took a screenshot of it. I just didn't have it. So 11111 across the thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this.
That is so cool. After your discussion with Candace this week about the 11s and this being an 11 year and your mom being born on November 11th, right?
Yeah. That's amazing.
That is so cool. That is super cool. Congratulations on your 11,000. That is 11,111.
Right. And someone, I refreshed it a few minutes later and it went up like by 8 or something. So if I hadn't caught it at that moment, but that's sort of the way synchronicities work. You catch it.
Yeah. Like you said, when you look at your speedometer and odometer and you get this really cool number, well, in a mile, it's gone. Yeah. That cool number's gone.
Yeah. And someone else had said they got in on the $111 BQH session, and they weren't sure if they were supposed to do it, but they didn't want to wait and not get the deal, so they went in and did it, and they got this message, and it said, you are the 111th person to read this message, and they were like, oh, there's my confirmation. So I just got that email.
Gosh, that is so cool.
It is cool.
I tried. I think it was later that day.
Yeah, it was gone
maybe by 5 or 6. It was gone, but I signed up anyway for the 222. I'm getting it at half price.
It's still half price. It's still, and that lasts till tomorrow. So
did you do the whole course?
Yeah, and it's really rich with content. It has all these PDFs you can print out, which, so you can keep it right in front of you. I like the computer, and I've got a copy on there too, but I like the idea of being able to be mobile with it. And if the power does go off, you've got this hard copy and you can read along. But it had hours and hours of video to watch. Have you started?
I'm watching the video. Yeah, I did lessons 1 and 2. There's 14. Yeah. And I did both lessons in one night, all the videos, all the handouts, all the little quizzes at the end, and I was really impressed with the quality of the videos and the handouts. The downloads are stunning, aren't they? Really beautifully produced. This is Candace Craw Goldman's Beyond Quantum Healing course, BQH, and she trained with Dolores Cannon 10 years ago, and she was on Shane's show this week. If you want to go back and see it on Wednesday or something.
Yeah, it was on the 11th. So yeah, definitely go back, because you have that half price until tomorrow. At 222, it goes back up to 444 on the.
Are you going to become a practitioner? Are you going to do BQH regressions?
I think I will do it for family, and I don't think I'm going to stop doing this and go into a practice or anything like that. But I just like knowing how to do it, and
I'm thinking of doing it. I'm thinking of, because I'm kind of in between things right now. I've just left property management. And, oh, by the way, Vanessa Va, I hope you had a wonderful conference today, because it is the 14th. And
was it today?
Yeah, this afternoon. So awesome. We'll hear from her. We should get some videos on that. So I'm thinking maybe of doing it as a practitioner locally, and then just sticking to my once a week live meditations, because there's so much. I get so much out of them. I feel so good once we've all connected. That whole thing about connecting with other hearts in a compassionate, loving way. There's nothing like it, you know?
Totally agree. Yeah.
How many are listening now? Because I'm curious how many are going to do this.
93.
How many?
Just went up to 93.
Okay.
Yeah.
93 people to do the meditation live if they feel like it. We have a big 4 requests. I don't know if they'll all wind up in there because truly I'm meditating with you. So honestly, I'm going to try to do them all.
Yeah. I say use your intuition. Like the last time we separated those two, I think it was a good idea. It worked out better. So, nobody be offended if she doesn't get to a certain topic. We're sort of being guided by intuition and our higher self. So we'll get to it next week if we don't. We're trying
to get through them all because we've been doing other people's topics now for 3 or 4 weeks now. Whenever they come in, we just try to do them.
Yeah. So I say just use your intuition, and what happens, and we'll be happy with it, whatever it is.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad because I can't really plan it or write it because I'll have to close my eyes and go into a meditation with y'all, and then see how it goes, see what comes out, and see where we're headed. As long as it's uplifting and really makes us feel good at the end of it. Like, phew, that was a deep one, but I'm really glad I did it.
Yeah, exactly. Totally with you. Yeah, that's how it was with the veteran. It was so heavy, but you could feel how much energy went into that. And I know we help people. I don't know how, but
I don't know. Through this energy internet that we're creating, sending it into the earth, sending it into the ethers, loving the whole earth. We're just like connecting with 100 people, sending this same thought, the same love to the same people at the same time, has to have a super exponential.
On top of it being retro
power grid.
Yeah, retro causal or whatever with people that join in the future too. So.
Yeah, we always get at least 1,000 to 1,400 to 2,000 people to do it, like in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. And then we had that one healing that was 3 days after the fact, so that was retro causality. Lynne was absolutely thrilled with that, and she said that's not uncommon that people actually heal through retro causality. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, just for being the vessel and the healing going through you. It wasn't even like it was directed at her. Jenny, right, in New Zealand?
Yeah, Jenny in New Zealand, who we talk about every week. Hi, Jenny. I know she's there. If she's not working, because sometimes she works on the weekends. She does a lot, and she watches them like a couple of days later. Yeah.
She's already 1 day later already. She's in the future in New Zealand for us. So.
Exactly. So talk about retro causality, huh?
Right.
Well, I'm ready if you are, and we shall see if we get any tones, crystal bowls, or video interference, because I do believe that's coming from the group. I think that's coming from our energy, from our magnetic heart energy.
Yeah, me too. So I'll mute and
I'm going to just remove my video. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that my mic is still up, and it is. So I'm going to start tonight by asking everybody to take 3 deep cleansing breaths. So you just breathe in as deeply as you like, hold it for a few moments, and when you exhale out any negativity, and take another deep cleansing breath. Fill up your abdomen with air, hold it, and exhale out any negativity from the day, any experiences that you might have had. And take a third soft, healing, deep breath in, hold, and exhale. And now that you're feeling very relaxed, start to breathe in through your heart chakra. Imagine the breath coming in through your heart and out through your heart at a pace that's comfortable for you. Don't hold it, just allow it to flow in through your heart and out through your heart. And when you're ready, bring in a light with the in-breath from Source, from God. Any color that you like, breathe the light into your heart and exhale that same light out of your heart. It could be green, pink, yellow, gold, white, red, orange, peach. Just keep breathing that beautiful light from source into your heart and exhale that light out of your heart chakra, knowing that as you do so, you're adding the love from your own heart that is completely unique to you. And when you're ready, let that light, as you're breathing it in to your heart, fill your body from the top of your head, through your chest area, down your arms, your hands, your fingers, into your torso, down your legs, to your ankles, filling your feet, all the way out of your toes, breathing that light in and out of your heart chakra. And once you have your body filled with this healing, protective light from Source, from God, fill a bubble of light around you, breathing in, breathing out. Fill that bubble up with the light of love from God over your head, around your face, the back of your neck, all around your body, front, back, down your legs, surrounding your legs, even under your feet. Fill that bubble of light with love, knowing that it is healing and protecting you. Breathing it in and exhaling it out. And now I'm going to ask you to send a grounding cord from the base of your root chakra at the bottom of your spine, all the way through that bubble of light, down through the building, down into earth, going into the center of the earth. And that grounding cord is very protective, and it keeps you safe while you meditate and pray. And when it gets to the center of the earth, let the light splay out in all directions like the roots of a tree, breathing love light in to your heart and exhaling it back out of your heart. And when you're ready and comfortable, if you like, send this bubble of light and this heart energy, this loving, protective energy combined from God, the cosmos, the universe, and you. Send it now to all of your loved ones, breathing it in through your heart and exhaling it out of your heart. And let that love light surrounding your loved ones heal them and protect them, now and always, in every way. Breathing it in, exhaling it out. And now we're just going to focus on people in the world who might find themselves stuck in a dark place emotionally. They might be struggling to get out of that dark place. They might be feeling that they would rather leave the planet and not be on the planet anymore in a gentle way, as in going to 5D Earth. Or they might be feeling suicidal, that being human is just too painful for them. So send your love light now to all people who are feeling stuck, who are feeling so sad that they don't know what to do to lift the darkness, those sad feelings. And we're just going to lift them up a little bit with our love light so that they can heal themselves. Breathing in through your heart and exhaling out from your heart. Because we never heal anybody Everybody heals themselves. We are responsible for our own physical health, our emotional health, and our spiritual health, and our mental health. But we can help others with compassion and love by just lifting them a bit with our love light and with our compassion so that they find it easier to heal. Breathing in through the heart, exhaling out of your heart. And we're going to send that love light to any people who were ever victims of sexual abuse, who are finding ways to heal and forgive. We're going to send them our combined love and compassion so that they feel loved and they feel safe. Breathing in through the heart, exhaling out through the heart. And now we're going to send our love light, our compassion. We're going to send that to people who find themselves incarcerated, who do not have the freedom to do as they please and move around and leave buildings as they please for whatever reason. We're going to send them the love light so that they feel loved, they feel forgiven, and they feel safe. Breathing in and exhaling out. And finally, tonight, we're going to send our combined love, forgiveness, and compassion in unity, knowing that we are truly one with all of humanity. We're one with everybody here. We're also one with all of the animals, and we're one with all life off of this planet. Because we are one with Source, we are one with God. And we're going to recognize that unity right now. And we're going to send our love and our forgiveness and our compassion to all people who have joined or are thinking of joining terrorist groups around the world. People who feel so desperate and so angry and so sad that the only way out that they can see is by doing harm to others. And we're going to show them with our love light and our compassion that they too have other choices, that they can help heal the world in a compassionate way, in a harmless way, in a safe way, by spreading education and information, and more importantly, by spreading and sharing love, compassion, cooperation, and forgiveness. We're going to help them to heal and soften their hearts. Breathing in through your heart, exhaling out of your heart. And we're going to let our love and our compassion and our forgiveness cover the whole world right now, going above it, below it, around it. And we're just going to hold Earth in the light and love of our hearts, our heart light, our compassion, our forgiveness, and our love, individually and as a group. And we're just going to let Earth bask in that beautiful, healing light. Breathing in through your heart, exhaling out of your heart. And we know that all human beings, every person on the planet, wants to feel loved and wants to feel safe. And that's what we're sending them now, sending all people and all animals on the earth. Love and safety. Breathing in through the heart chakra, breathing out. And we're just going to hold this image for a few moments. And when you're ready, gently let go of your grounding cord. Just release it into the earth where it will dissolve or disappear instantly. But stay in your bubble of light and love and protection. Stay in that through the night until you go to sleep and decide to move around, astro travel, visit places, learn things. And know that you have contributed to healing all people who are suffering. And know that your love is vitally important right now. And the earth really, really appreciates it. And you can start to move your fingers, your hands, move your legs and your feet. Take deep, normal breaths. Get back into your body. Come back. You can ground yourself some more by getting up and having a glass of water or tea. I'm back now. I was going to say calling Shane. Shane, come back.
Did you see that? You know the movie Shane Come Back?
No, I don't actually. Is
Oh,
there a
okay.
movie, Shane, come back?
It's called Shane, and it's about this cowboy, and at the end, the little boy's like, "Shane, come back, Shane.
No, I don't
We
know
need
it.
you." Okay, yeah, I was named after that movie. That was beautiful,
Really?
though. Yeah, I felt, wow, you know what? Right in the beginning, when you mentioned the sexual abuse, or actually the suicidal part, I felt like we pulled this darkness away and just injected it with this love light. I mean, I could feel that sadness go through me and transmute, and it was heavy for a moment there, but I felt it get pulled away. Now the
It was
overall,
heavy. It was for a moment, like the veterans one and the children's one.
yeah,
It was empathy, feeling their sadness and lifting it up by
yeah,
putting a light on it, transmuting it. It's all
yeah.
about transmuting. The volunteers who came here during this time came here to transmute any negativity into positive love.
And it felt like we did that. I felt like, there was somebody that might have been on the fence with, maybe taking their own life, and it was just what they needed.
Just a little bit of love from a
Yeah,
stranger or a group of strangers, sending them love to help lift them up so that they could heal themselves, figure out their own way out, think of the solutions, see the solutions, feel the solutions, you
hmm,
know. We don't heal anybody, we just shine a light on them so that they can heal themselves.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I've been in that dark place before. Like, I'm not a suicidal person, but I've been to where you don't see any good options. It's just like there are no good options. And it's a really dark place. It was my dark night of the soul that I had to sort of climb back out of. And I could have never imagined I could be where I am today, to be honest with you. I just didn't ever see a light at the end of the tunnel. But there was, and here I am. And so anybody if you're tuned into this and
Yeah.
you tune in later and it seems like there's no way you're ever going to come out of it, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, even if you don't see it right now. It really is.
It's there, it's waiting for you, and your future self is waiting in that light for you to come out of that darkness and out of that dark tunnel. something brought you through, Shane. I mean, I went through it as a teenager. I think most teenagers feel that way. They they go through it as kind of a phase.
Yeah. Yeah. I had some pretty dark times as a teenager, but nothing like, it was like even, I don't know, it was just like happy stuff wasn't even happy to me for a while there. It was just really a chore. Living and breathing was a chore. It's hard to say that,
but something,
I mean,
something did it for you. Something gave you the nudge that you needed to get you out of it so that you could pull yourself out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Something did. Sometimes I think it's our future selves pulling out our past selves saying, come on, you can do this. You really can.
Yeah, definitely. We don't see it or even recognize it at the time, but looking back on it, something definitely helped me through it. God, source, even whatever you want to call it, but something was there. And here I am today.
And here you are today. And here we
let
are
that be the
loving that you're
encouragement.
here today. Yeah.
Well, thank you. That was wonderful.
I always feel kind of emotional. I always feel a little tearful. But Lynne just said that those tears are good tears. They're tears of compassion. They're not tears of sadness.
Right.
It's when,
compassion.
yeah. And the compassion is what is so super magnetic, which is, our heart energies just literally probably could be measured by some instrument flying around the earth, healing people, who really need it.
Yeah. It's source energy. Yeah.
Just by giving them some love, just sending love and just sending, that in that love is safety. When you feel loved, you feel safe,
Mm-hmm.
Removing the fear with love. Yeah.
Well, anybody who has any ideas for any future ones, they can contact you or I, or leave a comment below. And
thank you for the emails.
Yeah, thank you so much for participating with us. I really feel like we're making a difference here, and I want to continue. Let's keep on trucking,
Yeah, and I think next week we'll do a lighter topic. I think if we kind of do light and heavy, like last week we did entering 5D Earth, I think that will keep us more balanced. Don't you, Shane?
I agree. Yeah, definitely.
So we did 4. We got 4 requests in tonight because they were all very similar. They were about people who were feeling they were stuck in dark places for different reasons.
And really the unity part too. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Incorporated that in there. So
finally got to the unity part where kind of when we come together, we do this as one. We're doing it as like different parts of this one beautiful, loving, healing energy.
Thank you, Jose, for helping things there. We love doing
this.
So,
and everybody else who's in there.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week. Do we have a topic, or are we just going to wait and play by ear?
Send in some light, uplifting topics that will make us feel like we're floating in heaven already. Right. We did 5D Earth, New Earth last week, but there must be other topics. Or we'll just revisit 5D Earth next week. I don't know. Yeah. I don't care. Sure. Whatever you guys feel like, let us know.
Definitely. Okay, so I will be back tomorrow afternoon with a guest, Deborah. She's read a lot of books, thousands of books, and she dating way back. She's got some cool information, some cool experiences she's going to share. That will be at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon. So join us then, and I guess we'll see you next week for the next Power of 8 at 8.
Awesome. Love y'all.
Lots of love to everybody.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.